how you get started has nothing to do with how well known you are in the world today. Hey, this is Iman Agai, and today I'm actually going to talk to you guys about how you can find the stage time. Back in 2014, I used to do about 200 live events a year at different people's events, seminars, conferences, and stuff like that. And one of the common questions I get asked is actually, how did I ever find that many stage time, right? And that's actually a very fair question. It's not that easy to find like 200 stage times a year. So one of the key points when it comes to finding a stage time is actually understanding that any person that gives you a stage is usually the person that knows you, knows who you are, knows what you're about, right? However, one of the questions that comes up is like, well, wait a second, but I'm getting started. Like nobody knows me. Nobody like how can people know me if I'm just getting started, right? And that's the part that actually you need to change your mindset, okay? It doesn't matter how many people know you to be able to give you stage time. What matters is that one person who has the stage knows you, okay? So you don't need to be the world's most known speaker to be given stage time, right? You don't need to. The only thing you need is just the organizer of that event that you want to speak at, organizer of that group that you want to speak at knows you, right? When I started my career back in 2010, one of the things I knew is that there are lots of other people same as me who also want to have a stage time. So one of the things I did, I went to meetup.com, that's meetup.com, and started a group called Vancouver Business Network. Now, when I started the Vancouver Business Network, I had this group that I could have speakers to come and speak at. Now, if you don't know, Meetup will promote your local events. And as long as you're doing local events, you can actually get stage time. Like as long as you do local events, Meetup will promote you, right? So that's one of the good things actually about the platform. So when you are choosing a platform, choose a platform that will promote you as long as you keep the platform. That's why I like YouTube, that's why I like Meetup, that's why I like all of these platforms. As long as you keep using them, they can actually help you to promote you, right? So I started meetup.com. I started doing bi-weekly events, which means like one event every 2 weeks, right? And then as I started running these events, I needed speakers, right? So I went to other organizers, the other business networks, and I invited them to come to my event and speak at my event. So think about it this way. Why did I start Vancouver Business Network? Because I wanted to get stage time, right? Because I wanted to get in front of people. Now, why did they start their network? Because they wanted to be influential people, because they wanted to get on a lot of stages too, right? So when I went to them and I said, I have this stage and I'm more than happy to give it to you, they're like, yeah, I'd like to actually be part of it. So they're like, yeah, I'd like to come to your stage. And I say, you know what? I'm inviting you to my stage and I get on your stage. And that's called reciprocation, right? So you're reciprocating with them. So they reciprocate with you. And they're like, yeah, I'm more than happy to have you on my stage. So you get on their stage. Now, maybe at the beginning, I wasn't talking exactly always about the things I wanted to talk about. For example, I wanted to go on and speak about how to build online courses, but they wanted me on the stage to talk about how I built my Meetup group, right? But what happened was that over time, as I built my connections and experience, I actually was able to be more known for the things I wanted to talk about. Actually, by the way, one of the pieces is that at the beginning, I didn't even know what I wanted to talk about. All I knew is that I wanted to be a speaker. That's all I knew. I didn't know what I wanted to speak on, right? So that's kind of like where it gets started. You get started from somewhere. You get started from one group. You get started from one connection. And then as you get started with one connection, one group, one talk, then you build your connection. You speak at one event and then you ask the organizer of that group. It's like, hey, do you know any other organizers of another group? And they say, yeah, like for example, I know this other organizer. How do they know each other? Because they're all influential people in the city. So number one, is that I started a group for myself that positioned me right away as an authority, as a person who could have stage time. And then I started finding other people, right, who are running the groups. I started building all of these networks. Now, over time, some of those networks didn't continue. Some of those networks continued. But what was left for me was all of these relationships and connections. Back in 2013-14, which was like 2-3 years after I started my public speaking career, one time I said, what if I go to a city that I've never been to before, and I try to find a stage time for myself. I try to get myself on like 5, 10, 20 stages. These are people that have never known, that didn't know me before. I've never even been to those cities, right? So I actually flew to Edmonton and Calgary and Toronto. Those are the 3 cities that I chose to actually build my connections and relationships with. So I went to them, and the first morning, I remember I went to Edmonton, for example. The first morning when I was in Edmonton, I went to this BNI chapter. Now, BNI stands for Business Network International. It's an amazing group. It's all local business owners. They're like printers and chiropractors and dentists, and, lots of other things. They're real estate investors, real estate realtors, like lots of other things, right? But mostly local businesses. I went to the group because the group starts at 6:30 in the morning. And I went to the group, I stood up and I said, hi, my name is Iman Agai. I teach people how to do effective marketing. And I'm looking for the organizers of business networks in Edmonton. If you know a person who organizes a business network, please raise your hand. Interesting enough, 4 people in that group raised their hand. When we got to the break, I went to them and I said, well, do you know the organizer of a business network, or are you an organizer of a business network? And they said, no, I run a business network, or I know the organizer. And if they said, I know an organizer, I said, would you mind to send an introduction email? I don't want you to recommend me. I just want you to say, hey, I met Iman in the morning in the BNI and he's looking for the organizer of business networks. That's all I want from you, right? I don't want you to say, Iman is an amazing speaker, blah, blah, blah. You don't know me, right? Just send an introduction email. Then, to the people who were organizing the business network, I told them, I said, do you mind if, I said, I'd like to have a coffee with you. Can I buy you a coffee? And they said, yes, sure, why not? And we went for a coffee meeting, we sat together. And I told them about the story. I told them about what I'm doing, what I'm about. And they said, well, I'm looking for speaking gigs. And do you have guest speakers at your events? And they said, yes, I have guest speakers at my events. And bam, I got to talk, In fact, actually, when I went to Edmonton, within 4 days, I got 12 talks. 12 talks. Not just from that one group. I went to the BNI, and then later on, I went to find another business networking group, and I went to another business networking group. I went to the chambers of commerce in the city. I asked them if they know any other business network organizers in the city. And by doing that, I actually found all of these networks, all of these organizations, all of these groups, and sat with them, bought them coffee, had a conversation with them, and got talks from them. So if you're wondering how you can get talks, you just remember this. How you can get talks is by knowing the organizers of those groups. That's all that matters. Knowing the organizers of the groups, and how you get started has nothing to do with how well known you are in the world today. The only thing that matters is that is that the organizer of that group, So don't sit there and say, oh my God, nobody knows me, I'm getting started, why would the organizer want to come and have a coffee meeting with me? Just you can make all of those excuses, and you're not going to get anywhere in your career. You're going to get nowhere with your career. The world is full of excuses for people who don't want to take action, right? There is no excuse. You want to get to know a business organizer, an organizer of a business network, go to a business event tonight. Go to a business event tonight. How to find them? Just go to Google, search for business events, search for networking events, search for parenting events, whatever type of groups that you're looking for, by the way. If you're saying, oh, I'm a nutritionist, so who's your target market? Women? Search for women groups, events that are happening tonight, right? Whomever is your target market out there, they are having events on a regular basis at one place close to you, right? So go there and go to Google, find those events, go to meetup.com, go to eventbrite.com, go to all of these things, look for those events, go to the event, and then find the organizer. Find the organizer and tell them, it's like, can I buy you coffee? I'm a speaker. I want to speak at your group, and I want to see if I can buy you a coffee, and so we can sit together and see what it takes to speak at your group. I mean, like, seriously, it's not rocket science, right? But the key is that people usually don't do it. And that's the problem. The problem is that people get to this mindset, it's like, nobody wants to give me a stage time. Like, when I started my career, I couldn't even speak English properly. And yet I got stage time because I went out there, got to know the person, told them my story, told them what I'm good about, what I'm good at talking. And they said, you know what? Yes, you're struggling with English, but what you want to talk about, you're good at. And by the way, if you think you're not good at speaking, practice. Practice every single day. Go out there and practice. Join the Toastmasters Club. Find a few accountability partners. Find some people that you can actually deliver talks to. Some friends, and say, you know what? I want to talk to entrepreneurs. I want to talk to this group. Whatever group they want to talk to, right? Tell them that I want to practice, and practice every single day. You want to be a speaker? Are you spending an hour a day practicing to become a speaker? No? Well, you should. You should. You think like becoming a speaker is like random, that like you wake up one day and you're a natural speaker? No, you are not, right? We spent thousands of hours of practicing to become speakers. Thousands of hours. Like, there are days that I spend 3 to 4 hours a day practicing public speaking, right? So these things don't come to you naturally. These things come to you with exercise, with practice, with working on it and working hard at it. So don't make excuses like, oh, you know, I don't have this, I'm not good this, I'm not good at that. None of us were good at any of these things. We just practiced and we got results, okay? So go out there, practice, build connection, and stay true to your dreams and passion, and make a massive difference in your life.